Welcome back, y'all. Hope y'all had a good week. This is for Married at First Sight, season 15 of San Diego, y'all, episode 5. And this video is going to be for Nate and Stacia. And as you know, for people who watch my videos, I do separate videos. And at the end of this video, you will see a link and you can watch the separate videos on the other couples and the after party. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Feel free to join the conversation down below in the comments. I love to respond to everyone who makes comments because I love the interaction. I love when y'all teach me something new. I love when you add stuff to the comments, whether it's different from what I think or whether it's chiming in on what I think. I love it all. So please leave your comments below. But we're going to talk about Nate and Stacia. I'm calling Nate and Stacia yin and yang. It is yin and yang right now. Yin and yang. It's yin and yang. Yin and yang. Because let me tell you, I still wholeheartedly believe that if these two had met each other on the street, they would not be together. Absolutely not. But this is what I believe about them. I do not believe they're the same person. They think they're the same person. I know they said that last week, but they're not the same people. They're different people in a lot of respects, but they're very complementary. That's why I call them yin and yang, because they're not the same. They're not two peas in a pod. They're actually different, but they're complementary. And that's what I like about Stacia and Nate so far. But it's their differences that I don't think they would have hooked up outside of Married at First Sight. I think they would have rejected each other. One thing I know about Stacia so far is Stacia is disciplined, she's very deliberate, and she's focused. And Nate, on the other hand, he has a much more fun-loving side of him. He's more outgoing. He's actually gets distracted, and he's not as focused as Stacia. And let me tell you, when we started watching those matchmaking specials, when all Stacia kept talking about was FICO score and credit reports, and now we found out that Nate had a bankruptcy, there is no way that Stacia would have taken the time to get to know Nate. The minute she found out Nate had a bankruptcy, she would have been Speedy Gonzalez out that door. And to be honest with you, the minute Nate found out that Stacia was 37, he would have been Speedy Gonzalez and out that door. Because I already tell you, Nate absolutely wanted a younger woman. And it came to be a conversation when they started talking about them babies. Because what Nate was really saying was, I don't want to rush into having a baby so fast. I want to wait 2 and 3 years. But Stacia's 37. She ain't got a lot of time to be waiting 3 and 4 years to start getting pregnant. So she's like, I want to start in a year. So this is what I'm saying. They actually are not the same, but they're complementary. The truth of the matter is, Nate is what Stacia needs. Stacia needs to learn how to relax and have a little bit more of a good time. She needs to practice that saying, work hard, but play hard. She got the work hard part, but she ain't got the play hard part. And then Nate, I think he is going to benefit from Stacia's discipline and her focus, because she's going to help him get more focused. Because although he may have the desire and the drive, I can see some areas about Nate where he's not disciplined. But when they opened up the episode and they was in that hot tub, that's one area where Stacia does want Nate to teach her something. She's like, he talks about he's experienced. And so she said she is intrigued. I know she is. She was like, come on, young tenderoni, teach me something new. I've been off the market for a couple of years. Show me some new moves. She's trying to hold back. And like Nate said, you know what? She wants me. She wants me. He knows she wants her, but she's trying to hold off a little longer. I'm with you, Stacia. Go ahead. I'm with your game plan. I don't have no problem with it. But they had a little adventure on them four-wheelers. And, you know, this goes back to when I say women who walk around talking about they independent and they're boss women. It's so funny that women walk around talking about I'm independent, I'm a boss woman, and then they get out on a four-wheeler and they start crying because their husband left them. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. You can't always have it both ways, and you can't just assume people know which woman you showing up to be in the moment. We don't know if you're going to be on this four-wheeler and be G.I. Morgan, G.I. Jane, and you want to be independent and you don't want no man around you because you talk about you always a boss woman, but now all of a sudden you want a man around you. This is the mixed signals that women send. And this is what confuses men. Now, I'm not saying women, we're not diverse. We can be, in the boardroom, and we can also be soft. Absolutely. But you can't always expect people to know where you are in that moment. When you are this woman like Stacia's trying to say she is, where she is a boss woman, but she also wants to be care and concerned for by her husband. I think that's wonderful. I think it's perfect. But you can't get irritated when a person doesn't know who you want to be treated in that moment. You can't get irritated. It's okay for you to explain it, but you can't be mad and irritated and hold it against the person, because people only know how you want to be treated by what you say. And if you walk around all the time talking about you a boss woman and you're independent, well, I'm gonna treat you like you independent. So when I'm not around you or coddling or holding your hand, don't get mad at me. I'm just following you, what you said. And on the other hand, it's just like a woman who is always damsel in distress, can't do nothing on her own, and then all of a sudden says, you treat me like a child. Well, you know what? Sometimes you send mixed signals. So in one way, I totally understood that no woman wants to be left by her husband in the woods on a four-wheeler. But on the other hand, I could also understand that Nate is getting to know Stacia, and Stacia presents herself as this strong, independent woman. So she's not always presenting herself as this woman that needs this constant tension or coddling. I think they can work it out, but you can't be mad when people get your signals mixed up in the beginning of getting to know you. But Nate is out here filming IG, live IG, and clips for his IG and his whatever else types of social media he got, Facebook, YouTube, who knows. And Stacia's like, pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. She's like, all eyes on me. But part of that, I think Nate has been probably single for a long time. He doesn't have that experience to do that. It's going to be an area that he's going to have to grow in. And hopefully Stacia is going to be patient for that. But Stacia also got to recognize something in her, and that she might be trying to play two sides of the coin here. And that can get a little bit confusing, because when she started bringing up the whole thing about the bankruptcy, the mother brought up the bankruptcy. You know, that mama was going to bring that up to her and say, hey, girl, you know, he's good and everything, but did you hear he got a bankruptcy? That mama had to call her in Puerto Vallarta to tell her that. He got a bankruptcy. Has he told you yet? But that story Nate gave, girl, don't believe that. You better go verify that. Talking about, that bankruptcy ain't on his credit no more. 6 months is gone. You know, it's like wiping the slate clean. No, a bankruptcy stay on your credit from 7 to 10 years. It's a long time. And he says that he moved to San Diego after he filed bankruptcy. I don't think Nate has been living in San Diego 10 years. So Stacia, you might want to go back and run that credit report, because there's a good chance that bankruptcy has not fallen off that credit report yet. Because I don't think Nate has been out that bankruptcy for 7 to 10 years. It might be 5 years. He might got a little bit more time on that bankruptcy before that's going to be wiped clean. So there's going to be a little bit more time. Stacia, you're going to have to wait before his name and your name can go on the deed to a new house. Stacia said it ain't a red flag, it's a yellow flag. It's a red flag, Stacia. It's a red flag. Go ahead and call it a red flag. Doesn't mean you can't work past it, but it's definitely a red flag. You want to go look to see how many more years he got on that bankruptcy. Just like Miguel needs to go see how much money does Lindy owe on those student loans. Because let me tell you, finances are important in marriage. And it doesn't mean you can't get past things. It doesn't mean that Lindy and Miguel can't pay off her student loans. It doesn't mean that Nate and Stacia can't get past his bankruptcy when the time elapses. But it does mean that you need to have a game plan to do it. You know, financial burdens are real, whether the financial burdens are bankruptcy, student loan debts, or kids from a different marriage. Because people want to talk about, I know people are going to be all on Nate about his bankruptcy, but some people coming into new marriages with 2 and 3 kids paying child support to them kids. Well, let me tell you, what's the difference? What's the difference? If you got to pay, especially in California, if you got 2 kids in California, you making a decent salary, I guarantee you're paying about $2,400 in child support. So let me tell you, if you're paying that much money in child support, whether you're paying it on student loans, some kids by another woman, or bankruptcy or whatever else, that is a financial burden. And people need to start recognizing that. And it doesn't mean you can't get past it. Just like you can't get remarried even though you have kids. Doesn't mean you can't get remarried even though you have bankruptcy. Doesn't mean you can't get remarried if you have student loan debt, but you need a plan. But it's so funny with Stacia, and I'm going to call her on this. She clearly knew that it was in her best interest to protect her assets in this marriage and get a post-nup. And Nate didn't even know what a post-nup was. He was like, a what? This man want to be an entrepreneur so bad, but he don't even know half the terms. Anyway, post-nup is very common in the business world because business people got assets and they need to have post-nups and prenups. But he was like, dang, you ain't got no faith in your boy. No. Why would I have faith in a boy I just met 2 days ago that just told me he had a bankruptcy? Hell to the no, I ain't got no faith in it. Hell to the no, I ain't got no faith in it. I need to see it before I believe it. You ain't Jesus. I need to see you first before I believe it. Stasha, make sure you get that posting up. I know she's gonna do it. But here's the part that was funny to me was that Stacia could understand how she needed to protect her assets until she found that the relationship was on a solid footing, and she didn't want to put her assets at risk before she knew what their marriage is going to be like. Got it, Stacia? I'm all with you. You shouldn't risk your assets. But when Nate said, you know what, I want to wait 2 to 3 years to have a baby because I want to make sure it's the right woman, and she was like, what? We married already? Double standard, because what Nate is saying is, I need to protect my sperm, Stacia. Just like Stacia, you want to protect your assets. He's saying, I want to protect my sperm. I don't want to have babies with the wrong woman. Just like you don't want to combine your assets with the wrong man, he don't want to combine his sperm with the wrong woman. And what he's saying is, he would like to have 2 to 3 years to make sure you're the right woman before he gives up his sperm. He said his daddy taught him that. That's what I'm saying. A man need to protect their sperm, just like Stacia need to protect her assets. And women need to protect their womb too. But I thought that was a little bit of a double standard by Stacia's point. But what I was happy to see was Nate didn't put up no big fuss on the post up. He was like, you know what? I understand we're fresh and we're new. And if that's what you need to feel comfortable, I'm all for it. I so much love that response. I breathed a sigh of relief because I didn't know if he was going to put up a fight over it. But this is why I told you I've come off my original position with Nate, and that I thought he was going to be arrogant and really just kind of handling this all a different way. I'm really impressed and happy to see the way that Nate is handling everything. And let me tell you, let's be honest. They are really on equal footing, because this whole idea of Stacia being older than Nate and Nate having to move at a faster pace and having kids than he would have want to, this is equivalent to Stacia having to wait for Nate to catch up on the financial footing. It's the same thing. It may be in different areas, but it's both a sacrifice for them. Nate is sacrificing that he may have to have kids sooner than he wants to, and Stacia is sacrificing that she may not need to move as fast in the financial realm as she wants to because Nate needs to catch up. So I like this, because at first I thought Stacia was going to come in with a lot more bravado in the financial category. But I think what she's recognizing is just as much as Nate is somehow benefiting from her financial stability, she's getting a lot of benefits from Nate too. And hopefully that will keep her humble, and that will keep him humble as well. And I like that their conversations have been kept respectful. There has been no disrespect and no weird looks or anything like that between the two of them, because they've actually had some tough conversations, and the conversations have gone really smoothly between the two of them. And I'm happy to hear that. And when Stacia was telling the story about how she gonna keep Nate's last name Barnes no matter what, I thought it was really heartwarming. You know, I listened to her story about how she doesn't really know her dad. In fact, she said she don't even know who her dad is. That's a whole nother level. A lot of people are talking about they don't have a good relationship with their dad, like G.I. Morgan. But Stacia was saying she doesn't even know who her father is. She doesn't have any identity to him whatsoever. And so there's no story behind her last name. I'm not going to get into that, because that's another story for her mama, that if she don't have no information on who even her father is. But she's saying that at least now she has a story behind the Barnes last name. And even if they didn't make it, she could tell the story how her last name became Barnes, because now she got a story. She said no matter what, she keeping that last name. So she said Nate is stuck with her. And I love that, because that in itself is a level of bonding for Stacia to Nate that I think will be more stronger than this whole money issue. I think the stuff that Stacia is looking for, which is family, which is a connection to a family and all those sorts of things, I think that is going to be a bonding. And I think that Stacia is going to find comfort in Nate's father. It's funny, the one thing that Stacia was missing, or not the one thing, was a father. And Nate was raised by a father. I'm sure that Nate's father was going to love to have Stacia as the new daughter-in-law. I think it's going to be a wonderful bonding and a wonderful pairing. So I'm really looking forward to see these two progress, and I still feel good about these two. I still feel like they can make it, that nothing has come up that's too big that they can't overcome. But that's it, y'all. Watch my videos on the other couples, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.